Okay guys, in this portion of the video you can see I've got Mach 4 Industrial up with the purchase license price. Purchase license price again for Mach 4 Hobby. So this is the Industrial, this is the Hobby. Many guys have asked, what's the difference? Right here is a full feature breakdown of Mach 3, Mach 4 Hobby, and Mach 4 Industrial. Okay, you've got standard version features you can see, and they're coming through. And again, we have a lot of stuff here. I don't want to waste too much time with this because many of you know this software's been on the market. There's really not a lot of information as far as, or I should say a lot of required information as far as what this software is capable of. But one area I do want to point out that I haven't really discussed before, and as we scroll down, and you guys can go through this video slowly if you want to compare everything, you're more than welcome to, I already have, is the summary of Mach 3 versus Mach 4. And I really haven't covered this. This is in Artsoft's own words. Mach 4 Hobby is the closest comparable version of Mach 3, yet it is still much more advanced. The price point of these versions is nearly identical. Mach 3 is very popular for hobby enthusiasts and is used in a highly modified form by some great OEMs. In general, Mach 4 is more complex than Mach 3 and follows CNC industry standards. I don't understand what that means. That's okay. Mach 3 has many customizations to make it easier for hobby users, but can lead to difficulties if users plan to apply their knowledge to more advanced systems. Mach 4 is built as a full-featured CNC controller capable of high-speed machining for servo and stepper systems. Mach 3's feature set is complete, while Mach 4's will continue to expand. If you're new to CNC, Artsoft highly recommends using and learning Mach 4, even if it appears that Mach 3's feature set will be adequate for your needs. Well, guys, let me clue you in on something. I can sell both. I choose to sell Mach 3. If I had to pick between them all, I've said this many times, Mach 3 is more mature, it's more stable. You have screen sets if you want to make the software look updated. It's like buying a 1980s house, throwing a new roof on, and redoing the interior, having Chip and Joanna Gaines come in and knock it out. Either way you look at it, it's what is accurate for your machine and how easy is it for you to use and understand. Everything else does not matter. Excuse me 1 second for a drink. I hear a lot of guys going back and forth about, well, Mach 4 is the latest version. This is not an iPhone. This is not a new Windows operating system. It's simply to translate your G code that you upload from your CAM software and translate it to motion. That's it. Now, that being said, let's take a look at Pumotix, because this is where things get really interesting. Okay, let's cover some free features, and this is all of the free features you would get with the PLCM E1B, and we're going to cover it just by purchasing their Ethernet control module, what you actually get. First of all, for my guys just starting out in CNC, you get up to 3 motors as far as using for each axis. So you'll have your typical X, Y, Z system. Now with a G540, that means you'd have an additional axis not being used, but that's okay. We can add it later on when your budget increases or you get the business off the ground. The bottom line is this: in general, 98% of businesses all typically start with 3 axes. So you can start with that, and the bottom line is you're ready to go. Once again, using 3 axis, free. PWM for spindle control, analog spindle speed control mode, free. 3 motion modes. 3 motion modes: exact path, visits the program path, exactly with maximum allowed speed, exact stop, visits the program path, program point, exactly with the absolute stop, and constant velocity mode, visits the program point, approximately with commercial motion blending tolerance. Typically, we usually see exact stop. I mean, that's typically used. Sometimes guys use constant velocity. Mach 3, you can select those. Most of these are pretty much set by default, but you do have those options, and of course they are free. Soft limits, free, totally free, and I've worked with them on that. They have their soft limits integrated, and I've probably discussed this in other areas of the video, that the soft limits are set from the time you turn the software on, the only software to do that. You don't need to hit an after button, which means your robot is the safest robot, bar none, because as soon as you enter the software, your soft limits are active, therefore you cannot crash your system. Amazing, guys, I'm telling you. Software control boundaries on your working area. Quick turning on and off soft limits per axis is also available. Bounds are displayed in the toolpath preview area. What does that mean? You can actually turn off individual access on the fly if required. Once again, free. Restore state at next run. Save system state after a regular program restart. All coordinates, offsets, state of interpreter. The last open file, last line number, etc. is saved. That's free. Setting up the probing allows you to set parameters as the speed of the search for the workpiece and the correction for the thickness of the sensor for determining the tool offset. That's free. Input-output signal state. Indication of input-output signals allows to clearly diagnose the correct connection of auxiliary equipment such as motors, sensors, relay, etc. Free. Settings import. Quick import settings from different CNC systems. Free. Axis calibration. The calibration feature allows to calculate the value of the motion parameter. Steps per unit to do this. Test move to a given distance is performed and the actual distance traveled is measured. The system will automatically calculate the new value of the SPU and offer to apply the new motion settings. Once again, free. Keep in mind, guys, this feature right here is the entire accuracy of the system. One of the most powerful features, which is free, which is completely unheard of. Software Gantry axis alignment. The feature allows you to programmatically eliminate the deviation of the gantry axis of the CNC machine from the perpendicular to the reference sensors and 4 marked points. The alignment module looks like a step-by-step wizard with a detailed description of actions for the CNC machinist and schematic images. Physical fitting of the home sensors of the portal axis is not required using the feature. All I'm going to say is this, is to summarize it, because I know I'm going to have a lot of questions on it. You'll see it in the other portion of the video where I actually go through Pumotix. This allows the guys using a slaved axis to axis calibrate each of those motors independently. I'll say it again. You're allowed to now calibrate each motor independently, and this will do it through the same axis calibration type wizardry that is done on previous axis. This is unheard of. Very, very powerful stuff. CNC pendants, XYC pendant supported devices. These are all different pendants, free. CNC pendants, input gamepads, free. CNC pendants, PLCM, R1 pendant, free, Let's see. 3D visualization, display G-code model as 3D surface, depends on structure, G-code, free. Two-path preview, graphic representation, two-path G-code execution process, free. Model bounds, display dimension of the G-code model and graphical and numerical representation, free. G-code start line selection by visualization. Option allows to quickly select G-code start line and two-path preview window by mouse double-click, free. Toolpath settings, free. Several options for setting the quality of display model. Feature allowed to choose the optimal performance visual settings for different computer hardware. Very cool if you guys are doing, when you're doing all of your loaded files, you can select different colors of the geometry, all kinds of different features. Toolpath color settings, Recently opened G-code caching. G-code caching allows significantly reduce large files opening time. You can do up to 5 million lines or more by saving some auxiliary information on disk. Super powerful to make the system faster. Unlimited G-code size. Super, super powerful, guys. Matter of fact, I highlighted it twice because it's amazing. This is free in the software. There's no additional limit on size of G-code program. File size is limited only by the computer's hardware, which is, in my idea, what should be. G-code drag and drop, free. Fast loading G-code lines or files by dragging with a mouse. G-code drag and drop. A lot of these are, I'm just actually forgot to remove them, but they are doubled. It is the same feature. Multiple color themes, predefined screen sets for UI. Macros to button binding, another super powerful feature. Option allows to bind any macro to GUI button. The button can be assigned as a hotkey or used by a pendant. Super powerful. Multiple color themes, free. Touchscreen support for modern touch displays, super powerful, it's free. Smart control of the simple smoke aspirator. This feature allows to automatically control a simple aspiration system of a thermal cutting machine consisting of one aspirator. This is configurable delay to turn on and off the aspirator after cutting to completely remove smoke. For my guys out there using laser cutters, awesome. Also plasma systems, awesome. Once again, free, integrated. Aspirator always remains active during G-code execution. Automatic zone downdraft. Airtable control is available as a separate feature. Now, this is the extended feature set with pricing. And this is direct from their site, guys. This is $208 in selected features and 3-year U.S. warranty on the PLCM E1B turnkey Ethernet control module. This is step 2. Once again, coolant control. I didn't actually express that it is free as well. Feature allows control supply of coolant through the standard M codes. M7 turn mist coolant on, M8 turn flood coolant on, and M9 turn both M7 and M8 off. So that is free in the free version. So if we just look at the free version of this software, I would say starting out, I think many of you would agree, at least 99% of you would be fine with this. Would be fine with it. All you're buying is the most stable motion controller on the market in terms of signal, in terms of voltage, and in terms of compatibility with currently is out, and you're getting this kind of software free. Again, you weigh it up, and you see exactly what I'm saying. Now, if we come down here and we cover the added step 2 features, these are the step 2 software features I chose that many of you would have requested anyways, that I feel many of you will benefit from. I've added this package in my step 2 module package, and again, this is what that would incur. You can see the prices of these. Drilling cycle support, let's just zoom in a bit. Option allows you to use all supported drilling cycles. The options required to use G73, G81, G82, G83, G85, and G89 commands. Again here, rotary axis A in index mode. When the feature is turned on, a spindle speed override coefficient will be automatically adjusted. When a feed rate override coefficient is changed to keep cutting speed constant, the feature is only compatible with milling machines and does not support threading. Let me just grab a drink. Unlimited motors. This option allows you to use as many motors as the current motion controller can support. Okay, so again, the PLCM will actually support up to a 6-axis system, which many of you will not ever require more than that. The software with this feature will go up to 9 motors. So it is totally, totally unheard of. Again, permission to use axes U, V, and W. Those are the optional axes. Option allows the use of additional linear axis, U, V, and W. These axes can be used to control the rigging of the machine and other auxiliary movements. Caution, the U, V, and W axis do not support circular interpolation. Again, that will be your A axis. You've got that option. Quick start G code from any arbitrary line. I feel that's really, really nice to do. Especially guys starting and stopping different areas of machining. Time spent on preparing the trajectory planner to run from an arbitrary line will be significantly less. The larger the file, the greater the, and it goes on to explain that, but that's all it really is. Performing G-code backwards. The option allows running G-code in any direction from any line. In the backward direction, in case emergency, this function will go backwards, and it will also stop. In case of emergency. You're looking at a $13 option there. Continuation of G-code in the middle of trajectory frame. We added that. The option allows you to resume the execution of the control program directly from the place where it was stopped. G-code runtime calculation, super, super, super important to have for business so you know how long a job is going to take. And of course, Fusion 360 post. Now, if you get the free version of the software, this is the only option that I've added because you need it, or else you're not going to be able to utilize any of your G-code that you've created in your CAM software. Now, if you're using Vectric, I've got post-processors available for that as well. But overall, and it's interesting because this is, I know I'm going to get questions on this. You look at the prices here, and this is direct off Pumotix. You can see here, these aren't really expensive, guys. I mean, even if you were to buy a module at a time, let's say after every job you buy a little module, something that you may use, you may not use, you can see the investments here are not big. Matter of fact, the largest investment I'm seeing right here is the Fusion 360 option. So when you break that down, and that's a necessity because, again, we need our post-processor to support the CAM software we're using. Look at that, weigh it, and then you factor in where you're at in terms of what you need. Something else I want to point everybody into the direction. You can see here it says in package, normal milling package, full milling package. Then under here it says it again. In package, milling, rotary axis, 5-axis index, 5-axis continued. There are set packages that has been offered from Pumotix that many of you may need. I didn't want to choose them right off the gate, or right out of the gate, I should say, because many of them are going to be more money than most of you want to spend. I've picked the stuff that I feel many of you will use and can make a lot of money with. And again, it's just learning everything and using it. But you can see, under just a free version of the software, 98% of you are going to be fine with this, just to start. Now, maybe not later on. You'll want a 4th axis. You may have a slave axis. If you're just starting with a slave axis, 3 axis of or 3 motors, you'll definitely need to increase that. But overall, if we look at what's currently on the market, nothing incorporates this. Nothing. So again, thinking about that and thinking about, in true terms, free perpetual license with unlimited G-code. Come back down here again. You can see we've got that unlimited G-code. That's unheard of. Completely unheard of. So for the guys just starting out, just want to get an Ethernet motion control module, understand that it's going to be compatible with a DB25 parallel port. You're looking at motion control software that's completely free when you purchase the Ethernet module, and you're looking at a total price of $260, and that includes your post-processor for Fusion. You factor that in, it's really hard to beat. And that's why I said this is a really powerful combination, especially with a modern version of motion control software. So, once again, guys, this portion of the video I feel is done. If you do want to check out, once again, the Mach 3, Mach 4 comparison, I've got everything right here. Don't be afraid to go through, and I'll just pan up slow so you guys can read basically what's been out forever. Nothing here has changed. I mean, it's all basically the same thing. And again, you can see the difference. I can tell you right now, we're jumping up, again, 64-bit architecture with Pumotix. We are dealing with a server-grade integration with Pumotix. Again, Mach 3, Mach 4, you do the comparison, but when you break it down, Mach 4, 1400 here in the industrial, Mach 4 in the hobby versions, 200, Mach 3 is 175. You break it down, and all of this is on top of what you'd pay for whatever Ethernet motion control module you're going to be using. You'll see real quick how much money you have invested. Thank you. Okay, guys, to all of you who stayed with this video up until this point, I know you're very serious and you want more information on this, so I'm going to dive right in to the software. We're going to do a full breakdown. Again, set some time aside. But before we do that, you are going to see one of my direct support reps, Oleg from Pumotix. I've worked with him now directly for months, literally months. I think it's been actually about a year. Him and his engineers have been amazing. They've supported the software amazing. They look forward to supporting all of you. I look forward to supporting all of you. And again, I think this is going to help many guys who are just getting involved and are really on the fence about, I want the latest and greatest, what's out there, what's available. This really answers a lot of that. And again, it gives you a feel for when I tell you that no holds are barred as far as, no country is going to be a barrier. I want you guys to have the best of the best. And this is just one of many of the latest releases coming that I feel is going to be a total game changer. But check out what Oleg has to say, because I've worked with him on some questions I had with the G540 integration, and he was fantastic. You can see it in this video. And then we're going to jump right into the software. We'll cover exactly what it can do, what it looks like, and all the feature sets. Stay tuned.
Hello, Vincent. This is Oleg from Pure Logic Russia. As I've promised, we've made an experiment for you using the driver G540 and our PLCM motion controller. All the settings and configurations are the same, so everything works perfectly. Please check it. There you could see the way we've used your G-code. Please check another one, and there we've used a more complicated program. So as you can see, everything works perfectly. Thanks for your attention.